One Saturday, my administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons.
In May 2025, India launched what it believed would be a bold step toward regional dominance, Operation Sindoor. The mission, shrouded in bravado and nationalist rhetoric, was meant to intimidate Pakistan, signal strength to the world, and reaffirm Prime Minister Narendra Modi's image as a decisive leader. But within days, the operation unraveled, not only militarily, but diplomatically and politically. What India painted as a show of force quickly descended into a humiliating miscalculation. And standing at the center of this geopolitical storm was none other than US President Donald Trump, whose unapologetic, deal-making diplomacy reduced India's swagger to silence. This is the untold story of how India overplayed its hand, how Pakistan stood firm, and how Trump rewrote the rules of global power politics. From the outset, Operation Sindoor was an exercise in overconfidence. Indian fighter jets launched strikes that were supposed to shake Pakistan's resolve. But Pakistan, prepared, vigilant, and united, responded with immediate precision and strategic restraint. It didn't escalate, but it didn't blink either. Within 48 hours, Pakistan's military had not only defended its territory, but exposed India's vulnerabilities. Footage of downed drones, intercepted communications, and Indian troops caught off guard began to leak, contradicting every claim New Delhi pushed through its media machine. India had misjudged the moment, and more critically, misjudged Pakistan. But the bigger blow came not from Islamabad, but from Washington. Entered Donald Trump. While India expected global sympathy and passive support from its Western allies, Trump took a different approach. In a single, scathing tweet, he declared, "After a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire." With those words, Trump snatched the global narrative out of Modi's hands. The world began seeing India not as a victim of terror, but as an aggressor risking regional stability. The Indian government panicked. The Ministry of External Affairs rushed to release a 6-point rebuttal, a stiff, legalistic response that tried to reassert control. But it was too late. Trump had framed himself as the peacemaker and India as the problem.
Go around the table because this is such a distinguished group. People like Tim, you're expanding all over and doing things that I really wanted you to do right from the beginning. I used to say, Tim, you got to start doing it over here, and you really have. I mean, you've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Even more devastating was what followed. Trump, known for his unapologetic America First stance, threatened to impose a 25% tariff on all iPhones manufactured in India. It was a brutal strike to Modi's flagship Make in India campaign. Apple, which had shifted nearly 20% of its production to India, immediately froze further expansion plans. Factories stalled, markets panicked, and New Delhi went into damage control. Behind closed doors, Indian diplomats pleaded for talks. The same government that roared about sovereignty and self-reliance was now begging to avoid economic catastrophe. And Pakistan? It didn't need to say a word. Its calm, calculated posture was speaking volumes to the world. While Indian media tried to spin the ceasefire as a diplomatic win, the truth was clear. Pakistan's resistance and Trump's pressure forced Modi to halt the operation. And it wasn't just about the battlefield. Trump's next move was a masterstroke. He publicly supported a new trade deal for Pakistan, backing its efforts for regional peace, economic growth, and counter-terrorism cooperation.
We had the conflict for a few days that you spoke about. Now, we resolved that conflict for the moment in its particular military form through agreement an understanding for a cessation of firing and military action. And this was something that we negotiated directly between the militaries of the two countries. The trigger for it was that after we had fighting for a few days.
For India, it was a diplomatic nightmare. For Pakistan, it was validation. Inside India, political fallout was swift and unforgiving. Modi's carefully crafted image as a 56-inch chest strongman began to collapse. Opposition parties called him reckless. Even his own allies questioned the wisdom of provoking Pakistan without a long-term plan. On the streets, the once loyal public began to ask uncomfortable questions. Why did we provoke a fight we couldn't finish? Why did we rely on American tech if we were truly self-reliant? And why did Trump, once seen as a friend, turn the tables on us? The answers weren't comforting. In truth, India had gambled and lost. It underestimated Pakistan's resolve. It overestimated its global standing. And most fatally, it believed that Trump could be swayed with flattery and handshakes. But Trump wasn't interested in slogans. He was interested in results. He stopped a war, protected American business interests, and elevated Pakistan's stature, all while exposing the fragility behind India's muscular rhetoric. In the end, Operation Sindoor was not just a failed military mission, it was a global embarrassment. It proved that bluster without strategy is hollow, that real strength comes from restraint, not recklessness, and that in a world run by hard deals and harder truths, India's pride was no match for Trump's pressure and Pakistan's poise. This wasn't India rising, this was India retreating, and the world took notice.